Hi, this is Dr. James Hutcherson, and I'll be your instructor for this course for this summer session of 2025. So let's start right out by going over the syllabus. I'll tell you how the course is organized, and then we'll look at the Moodle course to see how that's organized. So I'm going to share this screen with you that has the syllabus on it. Okay, so VIA 168A80L1, Anatomy and Physiology 1, online and asynchronous. This course begins May the 19th, which is a Monday. The census date is May 23rd. That means you have to perform the enrollment activity in this course before the 23rd or you will be dropped. Okay, here's some information that pertains to me. This is my email address that you can always contact me at, but you are certainly welcome to contact me through the Moodle course as well. And that may be the easiest for you, so whichever you prefer. Office hours are as needed, and I'm willing to meet almost any day of the week that you need, and we can do it through Collaborate, which is a program at the top of your Moodle course. So just let me know if you ever need to meet. The course description. This course provides a comprehensive study of the anatomy and physiology of the human body. Topics include body organization, homeostasis, cytology, histology, and the integumentary, skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems, and the special senses. Upon completion, students should be able to demonstrate in-depth understanding of principles of anatomy and physiology and their interrelationships. And this course has been approved to satisfy the Comprehensive Articulation Agreement for transferability as a pre-major and or elective course requirement. So it will transfer to any of the state colleges. Okay, the textbook is Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology by Martini, the 12th edition. There is a lab kit that's required for this course, and I'll show you a little bit of a link where you can get that kit. So it's very important that you get that kit. Okay, a lot of this I'm going to let you read through yourself. I'm not going to go through every single part of it. So we'll skip a few things here. I do want to remind you about academic honesty. Basically, no plagiarism, no copying, no AI generated work. We actually do have programs that will identify even AI work or plagiarism within your course. So be aware of that. Okay, here's some links that you might need, like if you need to reset your password, student email, if you need services because you have certain disabilities, please do make sure that you take advantage of those opportunities. If you ever need any academic support throughout the semester, there's also tutoring services available to you totally for free. So we do have a helpline, and there's the phone number you can get to. Here's some other services you might need. You can get to them by simply using your camera and clicking on any of these QR codes. Okay, inclement weather, that more than likely will not affect you. The final drop day will be June the 11th. That means if you drop before June 11th, you will get a W for the course. If you try to drop after the 11th, you have to take whatever grade you have. So it is important for you to remember that. Okay, again, the classes start date Monday, May 19th. Census date Friday, May 23rd. Okay, I will allow an extra couple of days during this summer semester for holidays. So keep that in mind. What we'll do is I'll give you an extra day to complete the work around those days. Okay, last day with the W, June 11th. And the last day of class, July 25th. Okay, moving on down. Grades, this is a 10-point scale. So 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, etc. Okay, here's the breakdown of the grades. So the lecture exams count half of your grades. That's extremely important. Okay, you need to study really hard for lecture exam. Put most of your time into that. chapter assessments each week, 5%. Those are open book quizzes. Then you have a discussion forum each week that asks you a question, and you use some kind of resource to answer that, and I'll talk more about that here in a little bit. Laboratories, 30%, 15% for lab assessments, and then there is midterm and final lab exams that are 15%. And then you have a comprehensive final exam, which will be 10%. Okay, online attendance, basically you have to complete something every week. If you exceed 20% of missed activities or time, I do have to withdraw you automatically. Okay, late work can be penalized at the rate of 25% per day, so you'll want to be on time. And believe me, this course goes at a lightning speed. It is summertime. You know, these courses are usually 16 weeks, and we actually pare it down to like 8 or 9 weeks. So it's the same amount of work. So that means you're doing about twice as much work as a student would normally do in a 16-week course per week. Okay, let's look at the schedule. So I do have a very detailed schedule here. Each week pretty much looks the same, except when you have exams. But I will have generally a Friday and a Monday due date. Now, like I said, whenever we have a holiday, I give an extra day. And when there's an exam, I give you an extra day. So that changes it a little bit. So the first activities will be due Friday, May 23rd. I give the readings on here, and this you'll see this in the Moodle site as well. Then it shows your assignments. So you have a form, you have an assessment, then the discussion forum, and I tried to give you at least a week to order the Carolina Lab Kit, and I will show you that link here before long on the Moodle site, so you can order that either through the bookstore or directly through the company. Okay, the following week, that one will be due on Tuesday instead of Monday because Memorial Day. But again, you have certain readings, you have the open book assessment, discussion forum, laboratory assignments. And then you have your first exam. And as I said, I'll usually give you an extra day for the exam. So since your activities are due Tuesday, the exam will be due on Wednesday. But then from that point on, it's pretty much Friday, Monday. So the next module 3, will be due on a Friday, May 30th. Again, readings, chapter assessment, discussion forum, laboratory. Next module is due on a Monday. That's June 2nd, that module, chapter 5, and the assessment, discussion, laboratory, etc. And again, as I said before, whenever you have an exam, there's always an extra day for that. Now, I want to point something out. Sometimes in certain weeks, you may have to try to speed things up a little bit. And this is especially true as we get to the end of the course, as you can see here. So on the Monday, you'll have a lot of things due. The Friday, you'll have the regular stuff due. And then you will actually have an exam due on July 19th. And let's see, that 19th will be, let's see, if it's 18, that'll actually be a Saturday. So you got to watch out for that. And then the final lab exam, final lecture exam will be due on the final Monday. Okay, and notice final lecture exam is due by 3 p.m. This is all important for you to keep in mind. Okay, lots of other policies here at the end you can read through. Talks about how they do textbooks at your school. Fair use of copyrighted work. Again, this goes back to the whole plagiarism idea. And basically, this last statement says, you know, I may change things on the syllabus, but I usually don't. So don't worry about that. All right, let's look at the Moodle course now. Let's see. Alrighty. So just lots of intro material in that first module. Very similar to the syllabus, really. How to get in touch with me, my name, an introduction. So there's a get started section. You want to read through that. Here's the link for the syllabus that I just went over. Here's well, you're basically watching the introduction, so you know what that is. Here is a link for your course materials on how to get those. I do have the course materials listed here. So you could order or get the textbook through your bookstore, or you can order it directly through the company. Here's a bookstore link. And you can get the kit at the bookstore also, or you can get it at this link directly through Carolina Science. Okay, let's see. I have a few other documents just to help you throughout the semester, like this lab guide. It just points out some important things that you might want to pay attention to as you go through labs, as you prepare for mid and final lab exams. The school does provide free tutoring through Upswing Online Tutoring, and it's available almost 24 hours. Okay, if I ever have any live sessions or you want to meet with me, I'll do it through this link that says online live sessions. So there's not going to be regular times for that. If you ever have general questions you think other people will also want to know, you can do the Ask Dr. H open forum. And then, as I said, you have to do the enrollment verification quiz, and that has to be done before the 23rd, or you'll be dropped from the course. Now, after you take that enrollment verification quiz, the other modules will open up for you. But as you can see, this little lock here, so these things will not unlock for you unless you take the enrollment verification quiz. All right, let's look at some of the modules, and they're all pretty much the same thing. I tell you what chapter you're working on. Notice we start with chapter 2. Okay, chapter 1 we come back to after about 3 or 4 chapters because we want to start right in with the chemical stuff and the cellular, and then we come back to organization of A&P in that first chapter. To study for lecture exams, you will use the chapter learning objectives. And if I were you, I would write these out each time as you read through the chapters. Okay, and then it tells you what you're doing in each module. Well, again, you're going to read, you're going to watch PowerPoints, animations as you have time. So it's up to you to decide how much time you've got and whether you can watch all of the activities in there. And then you're going to participate in a discussion forum. You're going to take a chapter assessment. Okay, so here we have the resources, including presentations of each chapter using PowerPoint. I do want to point out my presentations do use a PowerPoint that's a little bit different, but it follows the same material, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's see, in this first module it tells you how to order the lab kit. Then there's always supplemental resources. It has other videos. Again, it's up to you whether you watch them or not. I would if I were you. They're very good. They're usually short. And then you have your graded assignments, and you have to do the graded assignments. Okay, again, the chapter assessments are open book, and they can be anywhere between 30 and 50 questions. They're untimed, and then you always will have a discussion forum each week. And let me let you look at the discussion forum quickly. I always give you a case study, and do follow the directions. It says, read my post, then respond appropriately. You will then need to respond to one other person. Note, you will not be able to see other posts or respond to others for 15 to 30 minutes after your initial post. So don't think there's something wrong after you make the post and you don't see anybody else's immediately. Now, this is important. Here are the rules. Your initial post should be thorough and contain at least 150 words. Now, the online module discussion does give you a word count. You should also provide a full reference or link, so that's always necessary, at least one, okay? Don't just say, I got it from the textbook. Your reply to another student then should be at least 50 words and contain additional new information. Don't just say you agree with what they did or you like what they did. Actually participate in the discussion and give a little bit more information about what they just said. Or maybe if they didn't say something you said, go ahead and fill them in on what you said. But again, that's only 50 words for that part. And you don't have to do a reference for the response. So first, you always do an initial post, and then you reply to one student, and that's all you have to do. And I'll show you an example of the case study. So like in this case, it talks about an individual and maybe some issues they have, and then it asks some questions about it. Okay? And you just answer those questions to the best of your knowledge. Now, I'm not looking for a right or wrong here. I'm just looking to see that you did a little bit of research and you found some interesting information. And feel free to also give some of your personal examples. That's fine in any of these, or what you think of something. It's okay to put some opinion in there also. Okay, back to the modules. Module 2, again, you can see it's set up very similarly. Chapter learning outcomes, module instructions, reading and viewing assignments, supplemental resources, graded assignments. Again, always an assessment and a discussion forum, and then usually you'll have a laboratory. Now, some of your laboratories come directly from Carolina Science, and so I have links to them. And what you're going to have to do at the Carolina Science site is you're going to have to answer a group of questions at their site, and I'll get the grade for that. It'll be 100 if you get through it, okay? Everyone will get 100 on it. So that factors in about 5% of your lab grade. But then the lab usually will also have a report section, questions that you will answer, and then you'll need to save the document onto your own computer, and then you will submit it wherever you see this submittal folder, okay? So you'll need to, again, you'll be in the Carolina Science website, you'll go through their questions, and then you'll finally get to a group of pages at the end of their lab that you answer. You'll need to save it to your computer, and then you will upload it to my submittal folder on Moodle. So this is what it will kind of look like when you go to it, and it gives you instructions, and you'll go through the entire lab. Okay, so yours look a little different than mine does. Okay. As I said, there'll be an exam here and there. So they are usually 60 questions. I'm sorry, for your class, actually 100 questions. And it tells you what it covers. Generally, I'll give you like 90 minutes to answer 100 questions. So that's very important. These really are meant to be closed book exams. So make sure you study all of those learning objectives in each of the modules. Again, you only have 90 minutes. Now, some people have special accommodations, and you'll need to send me your accommodations letter if that's the case. Okay, again, Module 3, set up very similarly. Learning objectives, module instructions, readings and PowerPoints, supplemental resources, graded assignments, including assessment, discussion forum, and laboratory. Now, sometimes the laboratories do not use the kit. So let's see, where's a good one? Try to find one that doesn't use the kit. Sorry, all these intro ones looks like are using the kit, but here we go. Okay, so sometimes I'll provide a document to you or a PDF, and you'll actually need to write on that document. Then you'll need to take a picture of it or scan it, and then you will upload it to my submission folder. Okay, like this one, this intro and axial skeleton lab sheets. So these are usually PDFs of things from other labs that I have done. So let's see, I'll share that with you. Let's see, share application screen. Well, oh, here we go. No, that's not it. It may not let me share that actually with you through this screen. So anyway, so don't worry about that. Yeah, okay, sorry. But go into those and you'll see it really is just a document that I have copied from another lab, and you will fill it in. And some of you may be savvy enough where you can actually use your computer to type into the document and save it that way. Some of you may rather do that anyway, as opposed to actually printing it out and actually writing on it. Totally up to you. Okay, again, You'll see the same thing over and over again as you go through the semester. Again, as you get to the end, there's a regular exam and then a final exam, which includes a final lab exam and final lecture exam. And again, pay close attention to those dates. And if you can ever get ahead of your work, ahead of the schedule, you should do that, because again, it goes very fast. And do keep in mind, this is a 6 contact hour course. So in a regular semester, you would be expected to be in class at least 6 hours a week if it's really face-to-face. Since the course is double time in the summer, you shouldn't be surprised to spend 12 hours. And that's in class time, right? There's, even though if you're normally taking 6 hours a week of class time, you would still spend time out of class studying. Okay, now I don't say that to scare you. Students often do quite well in this class. Usually I think the average is upper 70 to 80%. So it's very good for an A&P class. But again, as you have any trouble, if you have any needs, you don't understand something, please get in contact with me. And I usually get back quite quickly. I keep my cell phone on me all the time, and if I get an email, I answer those as soon as I can. All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I will be sending you out reminders every once in a while and try to keep in some contact with you. And don't be afraid to reach out to me. All right. Good luck.